Welcome everyone, and thanks for joining us for today's episode of Canal Days. As always, I am your host Carrie, along with my co-host, founder of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Camus. Our Canal Days series delves into the vast collection of historical sites throughout Massachusetts, with Robert's expertise of local history as our personal guide. Each episode, we uncover history throughout local communities with historic houses, meaningful monuments, preeminent pivotal pioneers, and remarkable remaining remnants, all while uncovering their seminal significance. Today's episode of Canal Days will be canvassing the South Hadley Center Congregational Church. So, can you brief us on the history of the church?
It's a very, very old church. Well, this is the last edition of 4, made in 1895. But before that, when South Hadley was settled in the year 1727, it needed to have a church/meeting house going, and it built one very close to where there is now the Gaylord Library. In fact, there was a cemetery right there. But two, if you looked into the cemetery towards the right, where there's now a Mount College building 100 yards away, 100 feet away, there would have been the first church. And that was made very early in the 1730s. Now, that was too small for needs, and it was moved to where there now is a restaurant just north of the town commons, about 100 feet away from the tip of that town's commons. That building is there. So that was the second one. And that structure was built about the 1760s. The third time they built a church is they built one at the present location before this church here was built. And that one came in because they wanted to have a church that looked like more of a church than of a meeting house. And that one was built around the 1800s. But that one stayed around for a long time, but it was burned to the ground in a big fire. And so now you're at the fourth edition of the Congregational Church. And this one's been around for a very long time, 130 years, and it still looks great. So we're going to talk about some of the uses of the church, what's happened in very recent years, and why it's such a wonderful location for the church.
And so, clarify for us where exactly the South Hadley Church is located, and can you also tell us why, if this particular location is advantageous?
Yes, it's a wonderful location. It's the first entry on College Street, and it's on a triangle. Towards the back is a social hall that was put in during the 1950s. And it's wonderfully advantageous because it's right at the edge of the Mount Holyoke College campus. So it complements it in look. And it's also, at least used to be, well attended by the students of that college. It's right opposite the town green. It's within sight of the two former churches that made each edition of these. One of them is still there. And this is one of the nuclei of South Hadley's population. The center area is formed around this. There's a lot of juncture of streets in this location, so forth and so on. So it's a great place to have a church, so a lot of people can get there. It's a great place to have a gorgeous church like this one, so a lot of people can see that it's there.
And stick around because we will be right back after a few words from our sponsor. Are you fascinated by local history and eager to investigate the obscure treasures off the beaten path throughout the state of Massachusetts? Or maybe just seeking an unforgettable cultural activity for family and friends to enjoy? Look no further than Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, founded by Robert Camus. With over a decade of experience, Robert offers captivating tours and presentations of historic sites and landmarks throughout the state. Whether you're interested in canals, cemeteries, charming churches, or more, Robert's tours provide a unique and enriching experience for all. And that's not it. You can also schedule private tours tailored to your interests, ensuring personalized adventure and unforgettable memories. Perfect for families or groups of all sizes, making for an exciting hands-on learning experience that brings history to life. Simply visit HolyokeCanalTour.org or email bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com to book your private tour today. Also, don't miss out on Robert's podcast and video series, Canal Days, where you can dive even deeper into the vital history of the Connecticut River Valley. Make sure you remember to log on to HolyokeCanalTour.org for more information and secure your personalized experience today. Welcome back to our Canal Days episode of the South Hadley Center Congregational Church. And can you reveal what has happened to the church in recent years?
It's become South Hadley's fourth entry on the National Register of Historic Places, a federal level database of historically significant structures, and that's a great honor. It's a beautiful structure and it deserves that. It's a very prominent location, so it deserves that. And historically it's very important because it's the fourth edition of South Hadley's meeting house / Congregational Church. So I'm glad it's on it. Woodbridge Street is another entry. South Hadley Canal is another entry. And they totally deserve it. And the South Hadley Post Office is another entry. Notice three of those are close together within sight of each other. So it's a wonderful thing. And I hope it stays that way and the church gets used in a nice manner. Its attendance level seems to be high. I've been inside of it twice, so I can attest it has a nice look inside too.
And can you depict and apprise the current church, you say?
All right, what does it look like? On two sides, the north and south side, it has a very strong gabled, very high up, and it has big rose windows in each of those. Those are probably the nicest feature of the whole church. In the very front, it's a nice look to it, and it also has a somewhat smaller rose window there. Inside, it's beautifully structured, such that each row going back is a little bit more elevated than the one in front of it, so everyone has a good sight to it. And that alone makes it a very popular place. And it's a very nice, mellow look inside. Most Congregational churches don't put great stress on stained glass windows or too much ornamentation, but it has a nice organ inside and so forth. So I hope it's a building that stays with the time, gets well used, has a social hall, it's very close to the college, so forth. And there's a lot of other structures nearby that complement it, and it complements them. Thank you very much.
And our episode on the South Hadley Congregational Church. And joining us on our journey through the rich history of the Connecticut River Valley. We hope you enjoyed uncovering some of the hidden and overlooked marvels and their fascinating stories that shaped our past in the state of Massachusetts. A special thanks to Robert Comu, founder of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, for sharing his passion and expertise with us. Remember, you can find more information about Robert's tours, book private tours, and explore the Canal Days video and podcast series at HolyokeCanalTour.org. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes. Don't forget to keep exploring and discovering the history that is hidden in plain sight all around us. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to tune into our next episode of Canal Days and check out HolyokeCanalTour.org. Until next time.